Hello, dear students. This is Dr. Sujata Magdum, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, KTHM College, Nashik. Once again, I am with you for Immunology for MSc 2, Semester 3. Today's topic of discussion is cells of immune system from Chapter 1, that is Introduction to Immune System. Let us recall what we have studied earlier. We started our discussion with the immune system, immunity, types of immunity, and followed by that, we tried to understand what are the different types of immune organs which are called as lymphoid organs and can be categorized into primary and secondary lymphoid organs in the host body. Now, these immune organs or lymphoid organs, they are essentially made up of large number of tissues and cells. So today's topic of discussion is we are trying to understand the different types of cells which are present into lymphoid organ. Now already we have seen that there are two different types of immunities, that is innate immunity which we get from the birth and acquired immunity which is also from the birth but its action is stimulated in presence of large number of vaccines. Now these innate and acquired immunity, they are functional only because they interact or they are composed of large number of immunocompetent cells which are interacting with antigens. So the cells of innate immunity includes lymphocytes like T and B cells, natural killer cells, macrophages, dendritic cells, mast cells, Langerhans cells and monocytes. Whereas there are some cells from the innate immunity itself like T and B cell whose action is stimulated in presence of vaccine and so their performance is enhanced, and so these cells, they are defined to be included into acquired immunity or they are called as cells of acquired immunity. We'll begin our discussion with lymphocytes. All lymphocytes, whether T cells, B cells or natural killer cells, they are seen developed into long bones which contains bone marrow. This feature we have already studied in previous lecture. Now this bone marrow, it contains large number of hematopoietic stem cells, that is called as HSC, which gets differentiated into lymphoid lineage and myeloid lineage. So lymphoid lineage is concerned with giving rise to lymphocytes, which includes T cells, B cells and natural killer cells. So these lymphocytes, they are seen entering into the circulation, and from circulation they are seen moving into the organs like thymus, lymph node, appendix, tonsils or any other secondary lymphoid tissue where they acquire maturity, right? And once they acquire maturity, they become functionally active. So that is the purpose of showing this picture. So what you need to remember here is bone marrow is primary lymphoid organ which helps in bringing about development of lymphoid progenitor cells or lymphoid lineage, and those cells, they are seen circulating throughout the body through circulatory system and then they reach to thymus or the secondary lymphoid organs like lymph node, appendix or Pierce patches or you can say tonsils and so on. So let us see the structure of these lymphocytes. These lymphocytes actually, they are small cells which contains basophilic nucleus, and because the nucleus is very large, as a result of which there is very scanty peripherally arranged cytoplasm seen. Into this diagrammatic representation you can see the pink color which is been referring to the cytoplasm of the lymphocyte. Now these small cells which are into circulation, they enter into thymus or they enter into lymph node or appendix, and there they acquire maturity. So mature lymphocytes, they become functionally active only once they are seen entering into secondary lymphocytes or secondary lymphoid organs. Now, as I said earlier, that there are two different types of lymphocytes, T cells and B cells. We will try to understand the distinction between the T cells and B cells. Now, T cells, they are large in number, and nearly 65 to 75% of the cells which are into circulation, they form the T cells, whereas the remaining 25 to 35% cells, they are the B cells. Now the T cells, their main role is they are showing the response which is called as cell mediated immunity, whereas B cells, they are functional and their major importance is always seen with humoral type of immunity. That means they are concerned with synthesis of antibodies, and as a result these B cells, they form an important component of adaptive immune system. T cells, as soon as they are seen formed into the bone marrow, they leave the bone marrow in early stages and then they travel to the thymus for the purpose of maturation. Whereas bone marrow cells, that is B cells, they don't leave the bone marrow. They are showing their residence still into the bone marrow, and there itself they acquire the maturity. So this forms the major difference between the T cells and the B cells. Now what makes the distinction between T cells and B cells is the receptors. T cells on their surface, they show presence of receptors which are called as T cells receptors and is abbreviated as TCR. Whereas the receptors which are present on B cells, they are called as B cell receptors and is abbreviated as BCR. The distinction or identification or functionality of these TCR and BCR also varies. Like TCR, they are concerned with identifying only the linear sequence of amino acid, whereas the BCR, it can recognize the spatial arrangements of proteins, nucleic acids, polysaccharides or any other lipids which are present in their vicinity. Depending on this different functionality, we can classify T cells into three different categories as helper T cells, regulatory T cells or cytotoxic T cells. By mistake, here there is once again written as regulatory. So they are only three types, that is helper, regulatory and cytotoxic. Whereas B cells, they don't show any distinction. Once they are being stimulated, they either get converted to effector plasma cells or they remain as a memory cell. And function of these B cells, as I mentioned earlier, that it is a part of humoral immunity, indicating it helps in synthesis of antibody. Moreover, these B cells, they also act as antigen presenting cells, and therefore we can say they are very important in imparting immunity in the host system. Further, whatever memory cells are present into the body, they are always seen developed by the antigenic stimulation to the B cell. That forms a unique criteria for identifying the different types of B cells into the body. Now let us see the process of maturation of T cells. The immature T cells, as I mentioned few minutes back, that it leaves the bone marrow and enters into the thymus. Therein, they are called as thymocytes. Thymo, if I split this term into two, thymo refers to thymus, cytes refers to cells. That means the cells of the thymus, they are called as thymocytes. Now these thymocytes, they attain maturity into the thymus, and this phenomena of attaining maturity into thymus involves three different steps, and the process is defined as thymic selection, as a result of which 2% of mature naive T cells, naive refers to those cells which are totally not seen in contact with any of the antigen, and therefore such naive T cells will be seen into circulation and they try to get settled into the secondary lymphoid organs through the circulatory system like the blood or the lymph. Now let us go into the detail, the process of thymic selection. Now what for this thymic selection is essential, because whatever thymocytes are present into the thymus, they should be, you can say, equipped with certain entities onto their surface like the TCR, which will enable them to perform their activity. If this TCR is malfunctioning or it is ill developed, then such thymocytes, they should be removed or they should be killed. And this is essential to maintain the population of the T cell into the host body. Therefore, to have this process or to have this ability, there is thymic selection, which enables only the matured active T cells to enter into the circulation and reach to the secondary lymphoid tissue. So let us see in detail the thymic selection. As I said, it involves three steps. The first step is seen into the cortex of the thymus, where the immature T cell will now tend to develop TCR, that is T cell receptor on its surface. This is because of some genetic rearrangement into the thymocytes. If this TCR is not developed, then in that situation, the thymocytes with either ill-developed TCR or non-developed thymocytes without TCR, they will be removed from the body. This process of removal is called as apoptosis, and because they are removed from the body, we can say it is a negative selection. In the same way, the second step is also seen occurring into the cortex of the thymus, wherein the TCR, it will start interacting with the MHC molecules. Now these MHC molecules are major histocompatible molecules which are seen present on the nucleated cell of the host body. And these MHC molecules tend to show association of the proteins of the antigen. And this part you will be very clearly understanding into the next slide. So till then, what you can understand is in the second step of thymic selection, which occurs into thymus, TCR, which is developed into the cortex on thymocyte, interacts with MHC molecules, and this leads to bringing about maturation. Because there is conversion of the TCR, T cells which were immature only with TCR receptors onto their surfaces is entering into the phase of maturation, we can say in the course of development it is moving ahead, and therefore this is a positive selection. Sometimes it may so happen that the TCR do not interact with MHC molecule. The probability could be some dysfunctioning of TCR or non arrangement of some kind of biomolecules onto the surface of MHC on TCR, which will lead to bringing about apoptosis action. So again, this becomes a negative selection here. The third step involves both the cortex and the medulla of the thymus, wherein we can say if there is some thymocyte which has the tendency to interact with the host cell itself. Basically, you know that the immunocompetent cells, they have the tendency to interact with the antigen. But in nature, sometimes malfunctioning of the cell can also happen. You cannot rule out this. And in this situation, if there is development of some self-reacting thymocyte, means they have the tendency to interact with the host cell itself instead of interacting with antigen. In this situation, such self-reacting thymocytes, they should be removed from the body. And so we can say they are involved into negative selection. Further, because they are been removed, the self-reacting thymocytes, they are being removed from the body, we can say it lead to central tolerance. And this is essential so that the self-reacting immunocompetent thymocytes, they do not reach into circulation, as a result of which the potential cause of autoimmune diseases could be prevented. Now here, whatever I have explained to you in the previous slide is been shown into the pictorial form. Let us say revise. Now we are talking about the thymocytes which are going to acquire their maturation into the thymus. Hence, we can say that these T cells, which are the lineage of the lymphoid progenitor cells originating into bone marrow, they will be seen moving into circulation, and then these thymocytes, they reach to the thymus. Once they enter into the thymus, there are two main regions of the thymus which brings about the state of maturation that will lead to thymic selection. The first stage is these thymocytes, they will tend to develop large number of TCR receptors. Now here in this diagram you can see there is formation of TCR receptors. Whereas if you see towards your left side, there is development of TCR, but the TCR is ill-formed. That means it doesn't have any receptor onto its extreme end. Therefore, even though this thymocyte is showing presence of TCR, but it is ill-formed TCR. Hence, such thymocytes, they should be removed from the circulation by the process which is called as apoptosis, and it is a negative selection. In the same way, if you come towards extreme end here, there is presence of mature thymocyte with well-developed TCR, but unfortunately, this TCR, it interacts with the host cell itself. That means this thymocyte is self-reacting thymocyte, and as a result, this self-reacting thymocyte also should be removed by the process of negative selection, and that is called as apoptosis. Whereas in ideal condition, the thymocyte which contains the TCR, this TCR, it has the ability to interact with the antigen. The orange color structure which is shown here is been defining the antigen, and this antigen should be always seen associated with MHC molecule. Now these peach structures, what you can see here, they are been depicting MHC molecules. This is some of the bodily cells which is nucleated. So all nucleated cells, onto their surface, they show some of the receptor molecules which can be classified as MHC1 or MHC2. This is the generalized structure of the host cell showing MHC, which has an antigen with its association, and such cell with an antigen associated with MHC molecule will be identified by mature T cell, and these mature T cells, they will start secreting cytokines which will help in killing the antigen, thus enabling the host to develop immunity. Now, suppose there could be certain conditions wherein the self-reacting T cells, they enter into circulation. In this scenario, as I mentioned that the self-reacting T cells, they have the ability to develop autoimmune diseases. So if there is a condition, if there is a situation wherein self-reacting T cells, they are entering into the circulation, then what will be the consequence? Will the body allow these self-reacting T cells to happily stay and engulf all the bodily cells so that it can lead to autoimmune disease? The answer is no. It will try to prevent the entry of self-reacting T cells. Now, this is done by a special type of T cells which are called as regulatory T cells, and they will inhibit the process of circulation of self-reacting T cells, and the mechanism which is involved wherein regulatory T cells interact with self-reacting T cells outside the thymus is called as an energy. So we can say energy is non-responsiveness to antigenic stimulation, and therefore this will enable the self-reactive T cells to lack the co-stimulatory signals required for their activation, and this leads to development of energy, and therefore it prevents development of autoimmune activation. Thus we can conclude that the regulatory T cells participates in peripheral tolerance by inhibiting the activation and function of T reactive T cells and by secreting anti-inflammatory cytokines. Now let us see the different types of T cells, or you can say the classes of T cells. There are three different types or classes of T cells, namely helper T cells, regulatory T cells and cytotoxic T cells. Now three different distinction is done by observing the expressions on their surfaces, their mode of activation, and their functional role in adaptive immunity. Moreover, when we are talking about their surface molecule, this is commonly defined as the glycoproteins and are called as cluster of differentiation molecules or CD molecules. Depending on the type of CD, these T cells, they are also called as CD4 and CD8 cells. T helper cells and T regulatory cells, they are called as CD4 cells because the glycoprotein is of fourth type, whereas the cytotoxic these 8 cells, they are CD8 cells. Cytotoxic T cells are CD8 cells. Now what is CD? CD refers to cluster of differentiation, and why the numeric 1, 4 and 8? It depends on, or the nomenclature is given on the basis of their course of development, indicating that the cluster of differentiation 4 was earlier developed or it was identified as compared to the cluster of development 8. Excuse me. Classes of T cells can be distinguished even by specific MHC molecules and the APC, that is antigen presenting cells with which they interact for activation. Say for example, helper T cells and regulatory T cells, they show presence of MHC2, whereas cytotoxic T cells, they show presence of MHC1 molecule. Now here we will try to understand with the help of diagram what we have studied in the previous slide. We have seen that there are three different classes of T cells, and this is based on the surface expressions like TCR. You can see the blue one is T helper cell and the pink is T cytotoxic cell. What is common in both is presence of TCR molecule. And what is the difference in both? That is the cluster of differentiation CD4 and CD8. So T helper cells, it shows CD4 as cluster of differentiation, whereas C cytotoxic cells, they show cluster of differentiation 8. Cluster of differentiation 4 is also seen present on the T regulatory cells. T stands for thymus everywhere. Now, these T helper cells, they have the ability to interact with antigens which are present with reference to MHC class 2 molecule, whereas the cytotoxic cells, they have the ability to interact with antigen which has MHC class 1 interactions. Further, the interaction between the MHC class 2 and antigen leads to synthesis of cytokines, and this is useful in activating B cells or T cytotoxic cells, which leads to formation of CTL, that is cytotoxic T cells, macrophages and various types of other cells. Here, the process of antigen recognition by T cell is been shown. The picture is taken from QB, and here you can see that in this part there is cytotoxic T cell. Obviously, this cytotoxic T cells, it shows presence of CD8 as its molecule, whereas TH cell, it shows CD4 as its cluster of differentiation. Moreover, cytotoxic T cell, it interacts with virally infected cell, whereas antigen presenting cell is seen in association with T helper cell. With this, we come to the last slide of today's lecture, wherein we will try to understand the function of T helper cell, regulatory cell and cytotoxic cell. Now, T helper cell, it plays an important role in both humoral as well as cellular immunity and is involved in activation of macrophages and natural killer cells. Whereas the regulatory cells, they are involved in peripheral tolerance and prevents in development of autoimmune responses. Whereas the cytotoxic T cells, they are concerned with with killing or destroying the infected cells with intracellular pathogen. With this, I stop here, and in the next lecture, we'll try to understand the activation of T cells into detail. Thank you. Thank you so much.